So here I'm doing some oiling tests for a V4 that I'm building. Basically, two cylinders for the V8 project that I started a couple years ago. So I got one sitting here at approximately 45 degrees, and I got an oil dipper on it. And I'm running transmission fluid this time since somebody suggested that, and it's thinner than oil, so it would represent more like hot oil instead of cold oils. Since I got snow on the ground now, it's around freezing today. I got my oil level, you can see it up there. It's at a decent level in there. I got about the same quantity as normally would be in the engine. And then you see my dipper there. What it does, dips right into her good and then comes out of it. Hopefully it splashes it up over to the bearings where it needs to be there. So I'll test it this way and then test it rotated 45 the other way to represent the other cylinder bank. Seems to stir her up there pretty good. Hopefully it makes its way to the bearings. Can you help me? My Briggs is bleeding to death. Well, that's what it looks like when you have transmission fluid in it anyways. So, it's thinner than oil at cool temperatures. But it seemed to work for this project. Yeah, the reason I still got it in it here like this, because I'm using a new crankcase cover on a block that doesn't have the dipstick in it. So you can get a combination where you either have two ways of adding oil or you have none, and this one's got none. So that's the way it goes. So I just peel it apart and then drain it out into a container. Yeah, just to clarify there what I meant. So the old block, like this one, doesn't have the dipstick in it. So it used a little plug that goes in here on the side of the crankcase cover. The new block has a hole up in there that the dipstick goes into. So the opening's in the block. So the new crankcase cover doesn't have anything over here like this one does. So when you use a combination of an old block and a new crankcase cover, you have no way of adding oil to it except pulling it apart or the oil drain plug or something. But if I was to use a new block with an old cover, I'd actually have two ways of adding the oil. Now, I mean, normally you have one way, but anyway, I think I said enough on that to confuse myself. Anyway, so enough of this experimentation here. I got to get this transmission fluid all dumped back in the container. It's